Hey, the integrity monitor report you referred to said there's tension and mistrust between you and the compliance staff. Can you respond to that?
Yeah, the way I look at it is I think we have healthy dialogue. I really do. I think we got healthy dialogue back and forth with the compliance office. Look forward to continuing to strengthen those relationships, representing Penn State the right way, representing Penn State football the right way, and building a program that everybody can be proud of. The president talked about that tension when it's the right way is a positive, and we look at it the same way. And I look forward to strengthening those relationships and building those relationships, over the rest of this season and the rest of my career. No different than any other relationship on campus.
Out of the first week, you said the most important thing for your offense was to establish the run, try and build confidence for the offensive line. How much progress do you feel the line's made these last 2 weeks, and how might that help your offense sort of evolve moving forward?
Yeah, I think they've made real progress. Again, first week, don't really want to talk about it anymore. Everybody knows, the details of the first week. But I think, again, you think about how we've been able to run the ball and protect our quarterback the last 2 weeks. That's the O-line playing at a much higher level. That's the threat of the running game. That's how we're calling the game and managing it a little bit. I think we need to continue to do that. It's going to be even more magnified this year. If anybody's had a chance to watch San Diego State already, they play what I would call a chaos defense. Anybody ever see those defenses where they don't even line up? They just kind of walk around and do all those things. They blitz from every angle possible. So we're going to have to continue calling and managing the game the way we are right now. But I do see those guys taking a lot of pride. I do see those guys building confidence. I do see them playing faster and more aggressive. And just like everybody else does, we want to get back to the point where we're balanced and we're able to rush for a number of yards and have success running the ball, but we're also able to threaten the people with our wide receivers and our passing game because we've got some talented guys there. Really proud of Christian and how he's handled everything. I think he's doing a great job. We had very specific plays on Saturday that if they were running a certain blitz that we wanted to check into this certain specific play versus the blitz. And those accounted for major runs and touchdown runs. I would say almost every single one of those touchdown runs or major runs was him checking into that specific look. So Dyke did a great job with that, but there's no doubt that we want to continue to grow our passing game. We have the ability to do it. We've all seen it in the past, but it all comes down to our offensive line and them continuing to grow and play confident.
Hi, James.
Hi, Joe.
I know a little bit they simple as far as third down conversions, but through 3 games, you're still only 30% third down. So do you see progress there, and what has it done to get a higher figure?
Yeah, again, I think when we get more balanced and throw the ball more, that's going to help you on third down. It always does. But we are taking some approaches where we're running the ball on third down, which we've been able to be successful on some of those third downs. We've been able to add to the punt on some of those third downs, and I'm not as concerned about specific statistics at this point as a program. I'm more concerned about playing in a style that's going to allow us to be successful as a team. The statistics will come later. Those things are great. The statistic I'm concerned about is being 1-0 this week.
Dan?
James, kind of following up on Corey as well. I guess everybody wants to do that today. But with respect to the tight ends, not a lot of action in the passing game so far, but I see you are using them like kind of in the I formation. Can you talk about what kind of the mindset is there, and are you getting as much out of them in the passing game as you'd like?
Yeah, we'd like more. I think if you look at the statistics, you'd like to be stronger. But you could also make the argument if you just based on targets and opportunities they've had, we probably could easily have 300 yards more receiving at that position, or maybe 200 yards more receiving at that position and big plays. I think those 3 guys are doing significantly a better job in blocking. You guys know our philosophy is to recruit tight ends, not a fullback, but be able to use those guys in different roles. Last year didn't make a whole lot of sense for us because we weren't physical enough at that point. Now we're becoming more physical. We still got a long ways to go, but we're becoming more physical. Where now, not only can they line up at the tight end position, but now we can line up guys in the backfield and lead and isolate and do some things like that. So now the tight ends become a real threat. They're a threat in the passing game. They're a threat in the running game. And you got to decide how you're going to treat them. So obviously, just like the rest of the passing game we've been talking about, that needs to continue to evolve for us to have the opportunity to play the way we're completely capable of playing and hitting on all cylinders.
James, I just wanted to go back to the question about Christian's footwork. As you guys move the pocket, obviously we see him out rolling out. I mean, is it more of the stuff on the run? Because, you're seeing a lot of guys now, on the run. They made a comment the other night watching football that you're seeing more players run with their feet, or throw rather with their feet, not even on the ground. What are the specific issues with his footwork, and what do you think he can do to improve that? Is it the mobility?
I think the one throw he missed rolling out, what you want to try to do is you want to try to get your hips back downhill and be running at your target. And he was drifting towards the sideline and slightly back, which, yeah, you can get away with it. Christian has the ability to get away with it because of his talent and his arm strength, but you're not going to have the same type of consistency. And sometimes you have to do that because there's pressure. And you want to have the ability to do both. But when everything's clean and you can get your hips downhill, you're going to be so much more consistent. In the pocket, there's times where, I've made the argument coaching quarterbacks myself that 90% of bad throws happen because of footwork. Now, the comment you're making, I'm not sure if it was the NFL or not, but yeah, you look at Aaron Rodgers, you look at Brett Favre. Those guys had a wacky ability to make throws from all different launch points and without their feet ever being set. And that was a big thing I know from my time in Green Bay with Brett. His was injury prevention. He never wanted his feet set in the ground, and that was why he was able to play for so long. So I think it's a combination. I think when the pocket is clean, there's no doubt about it that anybody in the country, you want to make sure your feet, your hips are aligned towards your throw. And there's just some times where I think he can be better there. Christian's got so much ability that he's able to get away with it sometimes, but I don't think there's any doubt the more consistent we can get with his footwork, the more effective he's going to be. But we also, like I said before, we also got to catch the ball better. We've had some drops that were significant drops on our season so far.
Hi, Coach.